back in the day, I had the riz that I do not possess now. Like, I don't know what possessed me. I just came up to him and I was like, hey, man. Hope I didn't break any bones.
Welcome back to the Zillennial Files. I'm Little Button.
And I'm Pyrone, and today I'm going to be telling a little bit of a story of my life, basically, how I've managed to turn a lot of my enemies into my friends. And in this specific scenario, some of my bullies. In my first year of school, I had pretty much no friends. I would just follow like people around that I thought were cool. I wouldn't like talk to them or hang out with them. As you can imagine,
wait, you say
that
first year of school, is this first grade
Yes.
or is this freshman year? Okay, first grade. Okay.
Yeah,
How
my
old
first year
were
of school.
you?
4?
Oh, okay. So like, okay.
So as you can imagine, they made me like an easy target. So the first gentleman, we'll call him Chestnut, because he had the haircut of a chestnut. Kind of like the class clown kind of vibes.
At 4? You had class clowns in like kindergarten? Wow, okay.
Bro, comedy's always alive, dude. Comedy is always alive. And most of the time, it was just like, you know, little remarks here and there. But I think there were some times that it got pretty violent. The worst thing that I'm going to say is that he got my head, you know, the leg of a table, smashed my forehead into it. So that was basically the entire year relationship with me and Chestnut. So a couple years later, there is the school bully, you know what I'm saying? But goes past year levels and before year levels, somebody that kind of picks on everybody regardless. But they were in my year level. And we'll call this person Sailboat. He didn't really give me too much flack. It was just like, as much as everybody else, I would say. But there was one time I went to the toilet and I came back and he was arguing with one of my friends. And I was like, I remember I walked up and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And then like, without, a split second later, he's like, hand around my mate's throat, pushing him onto the table. This is the closest I've been in a fight, because this is it. So I grabbed him by the shoulders and I like threw him onto the table. And then as I did it, the teacher walks back into the classroom and I started crying.
How big was Sailboat? Would you say Sailboat is bigger than you at this point?
Yeah, he was definitely like one of the bigger kids in school.
And is Chestnut still at your school at this time?
Chestnut is still there.
Okay.
So a week or so after this, I see Sailboat again, and I'm like, back in the day, I had the riz that I do not possess now. So I don't know what possessed me. I just came up to him and I was like, tapped him on the chest, like, hey, man. Hope I didn't break any bones. I think I was maybe like 8 or 9.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
8 or 9 and you're like saying like, hey man, hope I didn't break any bones.
I gotta tell you, being a boy 90% of the time is just trying to act like a man. And then we started laughing and I was like, hey, do you want to like play Foursquare with us? And literally for the next 2 years, me and that dude like played Foursquare every day and we're like best friends.
You know what? That's like so great, like so kids, you know, so simple.
Yeah, like being able to forget.
Okay, so you and Sailboat were chill for 2 years, and Chestnut is just lurking in the background as your enemy.
Chestnut is kind of, I haven't really seen Chestnut since that year, but I haven't really forgotten.
Did you go to a bigger school so there were multiple classes?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, my experience was so different than yours. I was with the same people in the same class from kindergarten to 8th grade. Like the same like 30 people.
Small town school kind of vibes.
Yeah, it does give very small town school, but I lived in a city, but I went to a very small school.
This guy is not really a bully, but I guess it kind of fits with the theme. There was one guy who was friends with Sailboat that I didn't like. That I did not like. Every time, it wasn't even like real hate. It was just like kind of joking hate. But I didn't really like him. So he didn't like me either. Every time we saw each other, like, oh, it's you. Like, we'll call this guy Sultana. And this goes on for like an entire year. And then me and Sultana are on the softball team together. I'm like, oh my god, this guy. And we go on like an
softball.
Not willingly.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I just got put on the team. But after we went on like an 8-loss streak, and we didn't score any points because we sucked. And the last game we played was up against like the best school in the district. We're like, this is gonna be an absolute shit show. And I remember there was a ball coming towards me, and I was just like, and I looked away, and then I caught it. And then I look at Sultana, and I'm like, we got a point! And we popped the fuck off together, and we were like, let's fucking go. I remember the school, there was like a dude from the school, it's like, it's 1 point, dude. After we popped off together, that was it. We were friends after Year 5 or 6, I think this was year 6, I got an Xbox. And I started playing with one of my friends, and my friend has an older brother who's 2 years older. So I started playing with him too. And one day he invites one of his friends, we'll call him Kangaroo Jack.
Okay.
And Kangaroo Jack, I think it was like the closest thing to like cyberbullying I have ever experienced on like Xbox Live Chat. And I found out he goes to the high school that I'm going to next year. And I'm like, I'm gonna find this guy, and I'm gonna fucking break his knees.
Break his knees? Oh my god, the violence!
I was a combative kid. I remember being so filled with rage. I wanted I wanted to send him to Kingdom Come. So next year rolls around, I get into high school. So I'm 11 at this point.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah.
11?
Because high school
Not
is 7,
14?
8, 9,
Oh.
10.
Oh.
I find Kangaroo Jack, and I remember this at the school canteen. He's like buying lunch, and I'm like, "Are you Kangaroo Jack?" And I walk up to him like, "Listen, man," and I'm like, striding up, and I guess this is like intimidation riz. He was like, "Whoa, man, chill out. I was just like rustling your jimmies." Yeah, he's like trying to talk me down, and he like said sorry, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And he was like, you want to play Xbox tonight? I said, yeah, sure, why not? So when I was in grade 1, that I mentioned way back when, the classrooms are prep, grade 1, grade 2. And Chestnut was in grade 2. And so I hop on to play with Kangaroo Jack that night. And he says, let me invite one of my friends. He invites Chestnut.
Makes sense that shitty people stick together. Okay, go ahead.
And then I remember I was talking to him, like, do you remember me? Like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, bro, I was such a shit cunt back in the day. I'm so sorry, man. Like,
oh, okay.
I had such stuff going on at home and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah.
I don't think he remembered like some of the bad stuff, because we were friends for like maybe 4 or 5 years after that. So like, I remember I played with him almost like every night. So
that's so wild.
Sailboat went to a different high school, so I never really spoke to him again. But we were good friends throughout primary school. And Chestnut and Kangaroo Jack, I played Xbox with basically all of high school. And yeah, that's the story of how I befriended people who bullied me in the past. There was
Man.
a lot of Live and Let Die and a lot of Xbox Live voice chat, kind of bringing people together. But
That is
that's
so
the end of my
neat.
story. Yeah. Live and let die, forgive and forget if you can.
You learned
Not always.
pie is a pushover.
I am. I mean, honestly, yeah. I'm simple like that. But also it's worked out in the past for me, so.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like such a healthy mentality to have, as long as people aren't
Taking advantage of you. Yeah.
And I think most people don't have that intent.
To take advantage, yeah.
Some people do, but most don't.
Yeah, I see that.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you
Pie.
for listening and contributing to the story. I appreciate it. And thank you, the viewer, for watching this video.
Yes, thank you for watching the video. Let us know if you had some Bully Xbox Live, Foursquare, T drama. Whether you had a similar playground game that was super hot at your school. We'll see you next Friday. This has been the Zillennial Files. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.